I'm Grant from Collectiv, and today I will be teaching you the basics of querying in SQL. Let's get started. Querying data in SQL allows you to pre-aggregate, filter, and select only the data you need for what you're currently working on. By querying smaller subsets of data, analysis and presenting data is faster because the query runtimes are much quicker for smaller subsets of data rather than querying an entire table's worth of data at once.
So now that we're in SQL, up here you can see the server that I'm connected to and then the database I'm connected to. So I'm currently connected to the AdventureWorks Lite 2019 sample database. And here, when you expand tables, you are able to see all the tables that are contained in this database. So the first thing we'll do is we're going to query some data. So we'll go up here, select New Query, and then the most simple way to query data is doing a select star. This will select all data from a given table. So we will select it from the sales order detail table. So we are selecting all columns and all rows. Another important thing is that the SQL functions are not case sensitive. However, making them in all caps makes it a lot easier to read and navigate your SQL queries as they get bigger and more complex. Now that we've selected all data here, say we only wanted to select a certain number of columns and we didn't want all of them. Typing out every column name can be very tedious and take a long time. So a shortcut that I like to do is you go over here, right click on the table, do select top 1000 rows, and then you can remove this top 1000 and then you have all of the column names there already typed out for you so you can make any changes as you see fit. The next thing I'll touch on is aliasing. Aliasing is done by using the as function and then giving the column another name. So if we want order quantity to just be quantity, we'll execute this and you can see that it was renamed to quantity. As you query bigger tables with more data, you're going to want to filter them because the data can be too much to manage sometimes or can take too long to load. You filter the data by using the where function. And that always follows the from statement. We will use where and then say we just want to look at quantities that are greater than 1 and order quantity is less than 5. So this will bring us all the rows where the order quantity is between 1 and 5. What if we wanted to use the OR function? So we can easily do that by, if we want to view two different product IDs, we can do where product ID equals 905 or product ID equals 983. And this will bring us rows where the product ID is either 905 or 983. Another way that you can filter data using the where function is using like. So like is great when you're searching for a certain substring where, say for instance, we wanted to view the row GUIDs that started with 377 and then anything can follow after that. So we just want the row GUIDs that start with 377. We can use the % with like to achieve this. So we will do where row GUID like 377 and then the %. That will give us all rows where the row GUID starts with 377 and is followed by anything else. You can also do this for substrings within the middle of those values. If we wanted that 4483 and we wanted row GUIDs where they contained 4483 anywhere in them, we could change this to add a % on the other end as well. So and that will bring us all rows that have 4483 somewhere in the row GUID. You can also use the underscore as a wildcard operator where you will take any rows that start with 3, 7, and then anything can follow that 3, 7, and then it doesn't matter what comes after that. This will bring us rows where the row GUID starts with 3, 7 and can be followed by any operator, or % accounts for the rest of the string. So now we filtered to row GUIDs that start with 3, 7, and as you can see, that third value there can be anything. That's why we use the underscore. And then the % is to signify the rest of the string that you are not writing out. Another way you can filter data is using between. So between is really only helpful with integers, so we will use it with the order quantity column. Say we want order quantity between 4 and 7. This will give us all rows where the order quantity is between 4 and 7. Another thing you can use to filter your data is using is null or is not null. If we use where sales order and then we'll do ID is null. So we want to view all the rows where this column has a null value. And we do this by doing where sales order ID is null. If we execute that, it'll come back as blank because there are no null rows. However, if we change this to is not null, it'll bring us all the rows where sales order ID has a value and is not null. Another thing you can do is at the end of your where statement as well, you can order your results. You can sort them by using order by. And then we will order by the order quantity descending. So we will be viewing the highest order quantity first all the way down to the lowest. The highest order quantity turns out to be 25, and the lowest is most likely 1 or 0, but the data is sorted in descending order by order quantity. You can also change this to be ascending. And that will start with the lowest value going all the way down to the highest value. Next, we will tackle joins. So joins are helpful when you want to get a field in your table that is not already there natively. If we have the product ID column here, but we want to view the actual product name, we will have to do a join to the sales product table to bring in the product name. We're going to use aliasing again, but it's going to be in a different format because you will want to alias your individual tables so you can denote which table is which. Here we have the from AdventureWorks, sales light, sales order detail, and then we will do a space and we'll just call this one S. And then if we go down here, we will do inner join, and then we'll do, and then product, and then we will call product P by doing a space and then P. And then you have to do an on, and we will do where the sales order detail product ID is equal to the product ID. And then what we have to do up here, why these turn red, is that these columns here, product ID, row GUID, and modified date, they exist in both the sales order detail and product tables. To take care of this, we need to specify what table we are querying them from. We specify by doing the alias for the table, dot, and then the column name. So now that we've specified where those columns are coming from, we can also bring in the name column from the product table. So we will do p.name. And then this will bring us the name for all the products right here. If you want to aggregate your results, you can use group by. Here we have order quantity and say we want to group this by product name. So what we're going to do is we're going to delete all the columns that are not order quantity and the product name. We'll do sum and then we'll do quantity. So here, this will sum up all the values for the order quantity as the quantity column for each individual product name. You can also filter these results by using a special having operator. Having is exclusive to group by, so you cannot use it in other contexts. It is essentially just a where function. Say, for instance, we want to view the product names that start with HL. So we will do having name like and that will filter our results to only include product names that begin with HL. As a quick recap for what we went over today, we went over how to select all fields and all rows from table, selecting certain fields and then aliasing them, such as right here. We used where to filter the results and further filtered results by adding in the and or operators using like, between, is null, and is not null. And then we went over sorting our data, we using order by, then we touched on joins, and then we touched on using the having operator to filter your group by data.
Thank you for watching, and hopefully after the end of this video, you have a better idea of how to query data in SQL. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and also leave a comment if you have questions on anything I covered in the video. Also, be sure to go to gocollectiv.com for more info about working with Collectiv, how we can help you with Power BI or SQL, or other programs in the Microsoft data stack.